Somebody asked in a comment on one of my videos here, why did God create a system where he had to murder his own son to save people from the hell he also created? Seems like this kind of false dichotomy. God is sending people to hell in a system he also created. And I get it. It's a heavy question, and it's a valid question. And so we'll unpack it a little bit here. The Bible says God is both love and just. He's merciful and kind, but he's also holy. Holiness and justice demand payments for wrong. Um, we often desire justice, but really, when it comes to our own case, we want mercy, we want grace. But justice, in God's case, he is perfectly just, he's perfectly holy, means he can't ignore evil. There has to be a payment, a penalty sufficed for these sins, for these wrong. Every sin has a consequence. See, God in the creation story gave dominion to mankind, to Adam and to woman, and they decided to rebel against God. They broke the trust that was made there, and they rebelled and followed their own ways, followed the ways of the serpent that deceived them. And so because of that, there's a penalty for that. And instead of Jesus leaving us hanging, instead of God leaving us hanging, he sent Jesus to pay that penalty for us, gave himself. It's not murder. Jesus laid down his life willingly for us in our place to pay the penalty for our sin and provide a means of salvation and restoration back to God. As for hell, Jesus explained it wasn't made for people, but for the devil and his angels. It's a place of judgment. It's a place of fire that is God's righteous, holy justice for sin and wrong. God doesn't want anyone there. That's why he went to such lengths to make a way to rescue us. Oftentimes there's this false narrative given of like, well, if you don't accept Jesus, then you're going to go to hell. And that is a true statement. But it's framed oftentimes in a negative way that like, well, I don't want to have to make a choice. Like, well, Jesus says, John 3:16 is the most famous verse in the Bible. The next verse is worth reading. It says that Jesus came to save people who were already condemned. Not to condemn them, but because they were already condemned. They were condemned already. You and I aren't in a problem because we're faced with choosing Jesus or not choosing Jesus. We're already in a problem, and there's a way out, and that way is Jesus. Big questions like this are worth wrestling with, so let me ask you, what's your why did God? Drop it in the comments. We all have these at various times in life. Why did God fill in the blank?